Hey guys, coming in hot today. Whew, I'm a little bit late. So sorry. I wish you could smell what's happening in my kitchen right now. It is a French toast casserole from Dinner Time Delivered, from my sweet girls over there at Dinner Time Delivered. And I love breakfast for dinner, and so that's in the oven right now. It smells super good, and I didn't want it to burn. So I needed to jump over there. I just got this for my birthday. Thank you, Tom and Diane. This is my favorite, and it feels like fall. Today it feels like fall. So we're gonna do some Tennessee honey. So it's 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm Joannie Bates, and every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we do Wine Wednesday or Whiskey Wednesday. And we talk about real estate, and we celebrate people in the community who are doing amazing things. Last week we had Tanya here with sweet tea treats, and we had so much fun. She is a mom in the area. She has a bakery, and she makes delicious anything that's baked, she makes it, and it's so good, so good. You settle in. Say hi. I will explain this. I promise you I will explain this. So we have been doing a series about investing, and you know investing is near and dear to my heart. And this is the third part of our 4-part series. And we have been kind of going through the who, what, where, when, how, why of investing. And today, I really wanted to go into the how. Because when it really comes right down to it, you really need to know, how do I do this, Joni? I mean, you've talked about how establishing value, you showed us your shoes, you did all that stuff a couple weeks ago. You talked about learning, you talked about evaluating. We talked about all that stuff. And that's really important. All of that's important. But how? How do you become an investor? How do you become an investor? Do you wake up one day and just say, hey, I think I'm going to spend a crap ton of money on some houses? I guess you could if you were independently wealthy and you could do that. But most people need to have a plan, and they need to kind of what I refer to as past Joni taking care of future Joni. That's what we do as adults, right? That's the goal, is you want to make decisions in your past to benefit you and your family in your future. That's the exact same thing in the how to invest. The most important thing is your credit score. Do you know what your credit score is? I mean, it's basics, right? Is your credit score healthy? In order to do the how of investing, you need to think about your credit score. So let's talk about that for a second. A lot of people are like, oh, my credit score doesn't matter, I'm paying cash. Well, good for you. You pay cash. But I'll challenge you, my cash investor, sometimes. Is it better to keep that money liquid and in your pocket and go borrow someone else's money from the bank at an incredibly good interest rate right now? I'm not going to say it's free money, but it's pretty darn close, right? And so in order to be able to qualify for a really good interest rate, which saves you money, you need to have a good credit score. What's a good credit score? You're going to need to be at 720. 720 is the magic number that all things open up to you. Okay, 720 allows you to get better products, because that's what you're talking about. When you get a loan for an investment property, you're looking for a product that's going to benefit you in the long run, and your better products open up at 720. So in the how-to, you really need to think about your credit score. What else do you need to think about? Money. Money, money, money. We're just talking about past investor taking care of future investor and planning for it. You are going to need a down payment, anywhere from 5% to 20%, and that needs to be liquid, right? That needs to be cash. So you're gonna need a job. You're gonna need, however it is that you pay your bills and put food on the table and put a roof over your head, you need to save. You need to save up a little nest egg so that you can become an investor, okay? Or if you have a windfall, that works too, but it's going to take capital. It's gonna take cash. Anywhere from 5 to 20% is what you're gonna need as a down payment on a second home or investment property. Now your primary residence, you can get all sorts of cool products on your primary residence, but when we're talking about a second home investment property, that's different. That is going to be calculated differently, and so you're going to need some cash, so you're going to need a job. There's a reason that I'm wearing this little princess crown, and it's a concept that you hear a lot with investors, and you see it on YouTube, and you see it'll flash through your Facebook feed, and particularly if they listen to you all the time, particularly if you're looking at investment properties and you're talking about it and you're searching it and you're on Zillow and you're doing all these different things, it starts showing up on your feed and it says zero down, no money down. You too can become an investor without any money out of your pocket. Better yet, you can use other people's money to buy your investment properties. I mean, you could. Here's what I guarantee you though. That's what we call a unicorn. You might be able to find some incredibly good deal where you don't have to put any money down and it's ridiculous, but that's in fairy princess land. If you're spending your time looking for a unicorn or a fairy princess, you're not spending your time educating yourself and doing the hard work and making sure you have all your ducks in a row to become an investor. Unicorns don't exist. Fairy princesses don't exist, okay? You need to do the work. You need to have money saved. You need to have a lender that you talk to, a bank that you have a relationship with, better yet, a credit union. Credit unions are fantastic. If you're not a member of a credit union, become a member of a credit union, okay? Because what you're looking at is people taking a risk on you. You being an investor, a new investor at that. So you need to have your ducks in a row, okay? So we talked about not going for the unicorns. Don't waste your time on that. Don't do it. You need to save your money. And then you need to make sure you're able to prove that you have enough money to do this. And how do you prove that? You prove that with your income tax, okay? If you are a regular employee with a company above you and you're not self-employed, usually, your previous year's tax return is going to cover you when you go to the bank and you want to get pre-qualified for some kind of loan product. If you are independent, like myself, and you are a 1099, it's going to take a little bit more work. You're going to have 2 to 3 years of tax returns, and those 2 to 3 years of tax returns need to be very strong. And what that means is, a lot of times as a 1099 and an independent person, when it comes to your taxes, you want to write a lot of stuff off. You just want to be like, I'm going to write that off, I'm going to write that off, I'm going to write that off. But what does that do to your tax return? It lowers what it looks like what your net income was. Banks don't like that. They want to see a strong, high income. So the best way to do this is, you've already got your lender, right? You've got a relationship with like Certainty Home Supreme, they're your lender, or a bank, credit union, and you go to them with your tax return. You say, I'm getting ready to file, but I'm planning on buying 3 properties this year. They're all going to be about $250,000. How does this look? Did I take too many deductions? Should I modify some things? So again, what are you doing? Your past investor is helping your future investor. It's kind of like when you put away your Christmas decorations. You can tell where your mind was the previous year when you open that box of Christmas lights. Y'all know what I'm saying. If those Christmas lights are beautifully wound around a magazine, and you even put in some like maybe little dryer sheets in there to keep it fresh, and you might have even left yourself a note about remember the reason for the season. That is past Joni taking care of future Joni. Or you might open that box of Christmas lights and it's like, holy hell. It looks like serpents and snakes and knots and craziness. That kind of gives you a mindset as to where your head was at the end of the season the previous year. So when it comes to planning and the how of investing, be kind to yourself. Get your ducks in a row. There's no rush. There is no rush into getting your first investment property. You want your LLC. You want a good credit score. You want to make sure all your tax documents are buttoned up. You want to make sure that you can get approved for a loan. You want to shop a rate. You know, go to the bank, see what they got. Go to another bank, see what they got. Shop your rate. They like to be competitive. Show one for shopping for something. Like, oh my gosh, I got stories to tell you about when Aaron and I were first married and we were shopping for a mattress. We were broke and we're like, if we go to this place and we take this coupon, we can get a better price on that mattress, and then we'll take that price and go to that place and they'll match it. It's the same thing with mortgage rates. But it takes time, right? It takes time. Okay, so we talked about net income. What else do we want to talk about? Balance your write-offs. We talked about balancing your write-offs. And get pre-qualified. Talk to your people. Talk to your lenders. Talk to Blakely with Certainty Homes. Talk to my girl over there. Get pre-qualified. The last thing you want to do is to have gone through your 100 doors. We talked about that. You do not need to be putting an offer in on a place without going through 100 doors and becoming your own expert at the area that you want to be investing in and the kind of home that you want to be investing in as far as the condition of the home. What are you comfortable with, right? So you want to make sure you've got a pre-qualification letter in hand. So when you see that house and you want it, you can hit it. You don't have to be like, oh no, I need to go back, I need to get, and I really want it, and I might lose it. That is not past investor helping future investor. Okay? Get pre-qualified. All right? Oh my gosh, that French toast smells so good. So good. Oh yeah, and when we talk about being pre-qualified and going to a lender, don't worry about them pulling your credit. I know that you think that your credit's going to get dinged when you pull credit. When you pull your credit once, you can keep pulling it again multiple times for the next 30 days. It still gets pulled as just one pull. Now, you don't want to go pull your credit every month. That's not smart. But when your ducks are on a row and you have it on your calendar, like, I'm ready to shop for a rate for my investment properties. Have it all done in 1 month. Visit as many places as you want. Let them pull your credit as many times as they want in that 1 month. And it will only count as one pull. Okay? Awesome. What do I have for you? We talked about researching. We talked about where you want to invest and become an expert at that. That's where your 100 doors come from, right? And your first time being an investor, do not go for a home that looks like it comes on fixer-upper and it has no floor, no roof, and no HVAC. I mean, HVAC is one of the most expensive systems in a home to be replaced. You really want to make sure that you're going into a situation that just needs some cosmetics. Cosmetics, light cosmetics. Paint, carpet, maybe some updating fixtures, light fixtures, faucets, things that make it more appealing to the eye. That's called light cosmetic. That is a great spot to be in as your first investment, okay? This is the part that I'm so proud of one of my investors who we are closing on next week. We went through a lot of houses. I shared with one of my sweet agent friends, we tandem so that he could get through as many houses as possible. We put in a lot of offers. And it wasn't fatiguing, but it was educational, right? And then we got the one that matched the numbers, matched everything in the calculations for getting the best ROI on the other end. He did fantastic. The appraisal came in this week. right on the money, right where it needed to be. But there were multiple offers, and expect it. You will have to, because the goal is not to get in a bidding war. This is an investment property, not your permanent home. To be in a bidding war, bah, bah. You do not get into a bidding war when you are an investor. Now, that's not to say that you're not smart and you see value and you say, I might have come in a little bit low. If it's a difference between a couple $1,000, $3,000 to $5,000, go ahead and up your bid. Up your bid. That's fine. But a bidding war, like some of these things you're seeing now where it's $20,000, $30,000 over asking, bah. You can have this, bah. Okay? You do not want to get into that business when you are an investor. The idea is you make money when you buy, right? We talked about that before. You make money when you buy. And then ideally, in this situation that we're talking about today in the how, is you're holding. You're not flipping, you're not wholesaling, you're holding. And when I say holding, I mean you're holding. We're talking 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You want that mortgage to get paid off by someone else. You want to gain equity, and you want to hold that for your retirement. So when you cash out of it, it's just pure cash. I'm talking really fast. I hope you're catching all that, okay? What else? We talked about being patient, in it for the long game. So any more notes on this? Oh, okay. Hello. Really important. The process and the how. You've established your subject property. You've got your pre-qualification. You've talked to your agent. You said that one. We put in a strong offer. Your agents called the co-agent saying, hey, what do your people need? What do they want? Excellent. You write the offer tailored to that. You get your offer accepted. Fantastic. Now what? Things get kind of quiet for you as an investor because you've kind of done all the hard work. You've been out there hustling, finding the property with your agent, and now it seems to get really quiet. It shouldn't get quiet. This is when you need to line up your contractors. This is when you need to establish the scope of work. So you are allowed during due diligence and any time before closing to go to that property to measure, to bring a contractor, to get bids, and to establish what needs to be done. So the day that you close and you've got those keys in hand, you can take down a wall. You can do whatever it is you need to do because now time is not your friend. You need that to get rented, right? So back up a little bit too. You also need to have your inspector, obviously your contractor, an insurance person come in, and obviously your appraisal. All those things need to line up. So once that's all done, you've gone to the closing table, cracked the bottle, had your champagne, and you get into that house, and as safely and quickly you get that reconditioned, all right? You know you don't have to pay your first month's rent, mortgage, because it's already included in escrow when you were, when you closed. That's already been established, so nothing's going to come out of your pocket. Ideally, wouldn't it be awesome to get that place rented in the next 30 to 60 days? That would be amazing. So you talk to people like myself who have experience in finding people to be tenants. You can do it yourself. If you do it yourself and you are not licensed, you have a little bit more freedom, a lot more freedom, to choose who goes in your house. If I do it, I'm licensed, I need to make sure I follow all federal guidelines. I cannot stack. I need to, whatever application comes in first, that application has to be denied for whatever reason, financially, whatever, before I can go to the next one. Okay, but you as an individual can choose. It's your house. As long as you have less than 4 doors, you can choose who lives there. All up to you. And you manage it yourself, and that's not that hard. It really isn't. Not that hard. What else do we need to talk about? When you talk about renovations, do not watch HGTV and think that that's how it is. Whatever you establish as your renovation budget, add 15 to 20% more. And in this market, with the price of lumber, it might even be more than that. 15 to 20% more on your renovation budget so that you don't get surprised. The last thing you want to do is be like, ugh, I thought this was going to be a good idea. No, the guy said I need new carpet, but I thought I was going to be able to clean it, and I can't just clean it because it's really bad, so I got to rip out the carpet. 15 to 20% of your renovation budget, you want to make sure that you've got that covered. However you covered it. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be cash. You can put that on your credit card, float that, then rent, and then do however you want to do it. But it's important to have the reality of a renovation, okay? There's always things hiding behind a wall. And that's really kind of it, guys. It's not really hard. We're at that how part. You know, you want to make sure that you vet your tenants if you're doing this by yourself. There's plenty of, I use TransUnion for my folks. I never see their social security number. I have an application. There's an application fee. That application fee and application is for anyone over the age of 18. Everyone has to fill it out and pay that fee. And then that goes directly into TransUnion, and they get an email. They plug in their social security number. Again, I don't want that. I don't ever want to see that. And then I get an email that gives me red light, green light, or yellow light. And it tells me if they're a good tenant or not. Now, of course, I use my brain and dig in a little bit deeper than just red light, yellow light, green light. But it really is as easy as that. And there are, anyways, I can help you is what I'm saying. So this is going to be a quick one because I can smell my French toast over there, and I'm going to eat that for dinner. I wanted to thank you all so much for watching. I love your comments, and I love the messages I get every week from you guys. It just warms my heart. Love it so much. Next week is fall break over here in Cobb County, so I'm going to be at the beach with my Sarah Grace, and we are going to be enjoying Grandma and Grandpa over there in Fort Myers and having a great time. So we will not be here next week, but we will pick up again the following week with another special guest, another girl boss in the community who's making a huge, huge difference, okay? Be blessed. Joannie Bates, 770-363-2752.